Hi, my name's Stephanie Miller, and I teach at a small classical Christian school. I teach high school students composition, literature, rhetoric, senior thesis, a lot of things. But one of the books that I teach is Neil Postman's Amusing Ourselves to Death, and so I found it really interesting that Dr. Wesh, in his TED Talk, referenced that book. Just for a little bit of background, Postman's book's based on a comparison of George Orwell's 1984 and Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. And he basically, Postman, looks at today's society and asks the question, which one of those books is where we have ended up and where we are heading. And he sides with Huxley's Brave New World for a number of reasons. Primarily because we are more concerned with entertaining ourselves than having deep, meaningful discourse or conversations, discussions, that kind of thing, whether political, religious, or otherwise. Whereas Orwell's book talked about Big Brother coming in and forbidding those kind of conversations or reading those kind of books. Huxley just said people won't even care. And so that's where Postman said we've kind of ended up, and he talks about TV specifically because his book was written in the 1980s. And so he addresses the passive consumption of media and the impact that it's having on our conversations, our social conversations. And I think that his presupposition and his argument is valid, especially even today in a world of Snapchat and Twitter and fake news. However, I was challenged as well, particularly by Dr. Wesh's TED Talk, as he talked about some of the differences in today's platforms that are available when compared to TV, for example. There's really a unique dynamic of co-creating and connecting and collaborating, sharing that never has been present in the media prior to the web. So I think it's really interesting, and it's challenged some of my presuppositions. I tend to view social media as kind of a negative thing sometimes, or it can be a trap, and certainly it can be. But I think there are huge benefits. Obviously, I always knew that, but the way that he contrasted TV with the interactive nature of what's going on today really got me thinking about my own social media presence or lack thereof. I have 411 personal Facebook friends, 130 followers on Instagram, so I know not a huge media mogul in that respect. My main area of co-creating or offering new perspectives is in real life, in my classroom, and also as an administrator at the school where I teach. The stakeholders, the students, parents, and other people are my main audience. And with them, I have real influence. I could give examples, but I only have 4 minutes. So when I post things of meaning that are meaningful on Facebook, for example, I find that few have ears to hear, and that's frustrating. However, I did think, is there a way I could be doing this better? And if my passion is to disciple kids and train them to think deeply and equip them to impact the world, perhaps the best use of technology for me would be to help develop for my school a better way to communicate their message, because then the more students that I have and can impact, the more families we can impact, the greater impact we have for Christ. The article, Nonaka article, where he said that senior managers are romantics who go in quest of the ideal, that resonated with me because I definitely am idealistic. However, as middle management, he said that it's their job to organize the tacit knowledge, make it explicit, and then incorporated it into new ways of doing things or communicating things. And I think that might be something that I can do in the days, weeks, months, maybe even years ahead at my job.